My name's Troy Landwehr, and we're talking to Jordan Adler, author of Beach Money. Well, it's great to have you on the show. It's just so exciting. For those of you who don't know who Jordan Adler is, if you're in the home business world, are you living under a tree or under a rock or something? So Jordan is just one of the most amazing people. He has spoken in front of thousands and thousands of people, and he's changed thousands of people's lives. Literally has taken people that started making money part-time and helped them make full-time, life-changing income. And he's done it right from home. He's unbelievable. He's written books. He's not only trained people on stage, but he's trained massive millions of people through the internet. And he's known as one of the best trainers to get people to change their entire life. And he's a helicopter pilot. So he's a helicopter pilot. And so we're going to be talking about that a little bit. But the reason why I wanted to have Jordan here is because so many people, Jordan, with everything going on, are looking for a change. They're looking for an avenue out so they can create additional income. And you've done it as good as anyone out there. I don't want to call you old, okay? I don't want to call you old, but you're a legend in the home base arena. Everybody that's big time knows who you are. You're just and you're a very giving person. So I want to come right into you, and you have launched Momentum Makers. Okay, so where can people find you? Because I know you're going to give some really good nuggets in training right now, but where can people find you?
Well, first thing is I'd probably direct them to my Instagram, which is just Beach Money Jordan, and at Beach Money Jordan. Momentum Makers is a Beach Money publication. I had this idea. I wanted to start a publishing company to be able to create some books, and my publisher came to me, and we collaborated on that. And we're launching a series of books. The first book came out about a month ago. It's called Momentum Makers. It's a success stories book. The kind of book that I read when I was a baby in network marketing that really gave me the belief, that instilled the belief that it's possible to have something more than a cubicle job. Because I was in corporate America for years. Those kinds of books, there were not very many of them when I got started in network marketing. Today there's thousands, but this particular book is packed with success stories by people that have gone from a level of struggle. Everybody's story is different, but they went from a level of struggle to big success in network marketing. And the first book is about that. And then we've got one coming out on social media and one coming out on branding and one for couples. So those are all coming out.
So you got it all. Go ahead.
So they can find the Momentum Makers group where there's interviews that we're doing with the authors and things. It's just on Facebook. Just go find Momentum Makers and you can just follow us in that group. And you can follow me at Beach Money Jordan, and it's an exciting project that is going to really help a lot of people.
So tell me this, Momentum Makers, I'm part of that group and I've learned a lot from it. You've got a lot of great training and great tips there. Beach Money, let's go to Beach Money for a minute, because a lot of people, that book was mandatory reading in a lot of companies. It was like literally people said they want you to read that book. What got you to write that book? And tell people a little bit about what that's about.
Yeah, so years before I ever signed up my first distributor in network marketing, I don't know how much you know about this, Troy, but I didn't sign up a single distributor in network marketing for my first 10 years in network marketing. I was in 11 companies in 10 years, never signed up a single person. But when I was on the journey, I was working jobs, different jobs. I have a degree in landscape architecture, and so I was doing some drafting and things like that, moved from Chicago to Arizona, and I was, not making much money, but working for a little design company behind a drafting board. But I was reading classified ads and answering classified ads and joining companies. And because I answered a classified ad, I figured that was the way to get business partners. So I would run classified ads. I had no money. I was racking up a lot of credit card debt, but I would run these little classified ads, like 3-line classified ads, because I could get them for $100. And anytime I would put the phrase beach money on the title of the classified ad, I get like 20 times more calls than if I put anything else. Never sponsored one person, but I did get calls when I put beach money on there. And so I could get 2 or 3 calls if I didn't put beach money on there, but if I did, I would get 20 calls, right? Or 30 calls. So years later, I had a box that had notes from my conference call. This is, years after I had success in network marketing. I had a box that had notes, handwritten notes from all my conference calls, a big box, yellow notepads, lots of writing and all that. And I thought, I need to take this stuff, because there's a lot of good stuff here, and I got to put it in a book. There's a lot of great training here, and I need to put it in a book. So I needed a title for the book, and I just thought, wow, beach money, that works, So yeah, so that's how. And then I do want to tell you the story of how my second book, Better Than Beach Money, how that one got its name. So I wrote the second book, and I love the second book as much as I love the first book, but I might even like the second book better. And I wrote the second book, and I didn't have a title. And I had a list of like 40 titles, of which some of them were really good and some of them were just okay. And I was up on Mount Charleston, up in the mountains in Nevada, with a group of friends. We were sitting around a fire on my deck. And I was telling them, like, I want to come out with this book, but I don't have a title yet. And one of them asked, and I told them some of the titles I was thinking about. And one of them asked me, well, what is it about? And I said, well, the only thing I can tell you is it's better than beach money. And he goes, better than beach money? And I go, that's it. That's the title. So that became the second book, Better Than Beach Money.
Oh, man. So you're going to have people read the second book before the first one.
What's that?
People are going to read the second book before the first one now.
You know what? You can read the second book first. I love the second book. It's I love it. So I really want you to read it, because you'll get a lot out of it for building your business, both of them.
Well, I'm going to put you on the hot seat in a minute. So everyone stay with us, because if you want to learn about this industry and how to really advance your business and take it to the next level, you're going to want to hear some of these answers and some of the questions that I ask you. But before I do, is one of the reasons I recommend people read your books is I always believe success leaves clues. The Bible says, as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. And if you get around successful people, if you read these books that you're talking about, you'd want everyone to read, because it's going to tell you exactly what to do. It's going to tell you the stories. It's going to tell you what to do when you're starting a business in network marketing. It gives you all kinds of tips. So, I always say, if you're reading, your reference group is who you hang out with matters, right? Your reference group, your law of you're in a circle, but what you read and what you listen to. So one of the things I recommend is that they find you on social media so they can listen to you and listen to your tips and listen to your training, but also read, shut down the Netflix a little bit and read these books. Beach Money, Better Than Beach Money. All these things are going to be, absolutely great for your business. So let me ask you this. You tell a little bit about how you got started, and one of the things, I'm going to go to advanced training for a minute. Okay. We're going to jump. Hey, I got ADD. This is so different.
We all do.
I got so much ADD. It's incredible. But one of the things that you're doing that's kind of fun, we mentioned that you're a pilot, right? You're a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I want to do is I want to travel with you a little bit, because you're around successful people and I want to pick their brains. I want to learn from people like you. But you actually have a trip that takes, like, I think 8 to 10 people. It's very exclusive. And I'm signing up for that. Okay. So I'm on it. Okay. Nice. But tell me a little bit about this, because this is really advanced training for people that really want to take their business to the next level and network marketing. They're going to get some incredible insight.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun with this. What we're doing is we're taking a private jet, and I'm talking about a luxury heavy private jet, like a really nice one with a flight attendant. And we're all meeting up in Vegas. This is our second one. The first one filled up in 10 minutes. We're flying from Las Vegas on Saturday morning to LA. We're getting picked up in a limo. We're going to go to the beach, have a nice lunch on the beach at this nice little cafe. We're going to go back to the jet. We're going to do some training on the jet, and then we're going to fly back to Vegas. You'll have a chance to take lots of video. We'll have a professional photographer there and a videographer, and there'll be a social media package if you're interested in that, or you can just take your own pictures and use it on your social media. It's a great opportunity to, get some bragging rights, get some phenomenal advanced training, and mastermind with other successful network marketers. $2,900 all inclusive. So you fly in on Friday night, get a hotel room. We leave Saturday morning. We're back Saturday night.
Man, that's incredible. And having those
good
contacts, you know, the context that you're going to be around and learn from. There's probably, you know, there's always sharp people and those, you know, that you're sitting next to, and you're learning, you're asking them questions, and you get lifelong friends. It's incredible.
Never flown on a private jet. There's nothing. Have you done it, Troy?
I have. Yeah.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Like, it changes you. Taking one trip on a private jet changes you. So if you've never done that before, you want to have that experience, and to be able to do it with other like-minded people, this is a great opportunity.
Yeah, I remember getting on a jet and I was like, what does this guy do? What am I doing wrong? And then we took a jet, we got on another guy's jet. And I'm like, well, what does this guy do? This is even better. What am I doing?
So by the way, the second trip, the first trip sold out in 10 minutes. The second one is on January 9th, and I haven't released it yet. So if you're interested in that, just get a message over to Troy, and because he's my first passenger on the second
Come on,
trip.
Let's go now.
Yeah.
Come on. Do I get to fly it? I got my steer. No, no, you don't want me flying.
So you'll be flying not just with me, but you'll be flying with Troy. And this guy has, like, he's getting it done. So
let's go.
We're gonna have some fun.
Let's have some fun. Let's fill that jet. All right. So listen, let me ask you this. So people have really, you know, things have changed. The world is really, really different out there. And so many people are looking for ways, because we're running scared. There's so many people, they don't know what to do. They don't know if their job is still going to be around. There's so much flux with everything happening. And more people are looking for avenues to, other avenues to work from home. Right. So what is your recommendation when people are looking at this? What do you recommend for people?
Well, if you think about it, people that work with their hands, people that it requires them to be there to make money, they're very limited right now. And a lot of those jobs, you're just like at constant every day wondering if your job is going to be eliminated. Those businesses are down significantly. A lot of people out of work. I got a good friend who lives in Vegas that he sets up stages and big video screens and things for entertainment. And that's all he's done for many, many years. And that's all he knows. And there's no unemployment here. He hasn't worked in 9 months, and he's like freaking out. He doesn't know what he's going to do. And there's a lot of people out there like that. And network marketing is something that you can do, you know, on your computer. And it's something that gives you it's insulated to a certain extent from some of the pressures that are going on right now in business. And it gives you leverage. You know, one thing happened when I was in my 20s. There were only 3 books written on network marketing when I was in my 20s. And one of them was a book called The 10 Napkin Presentations by Don Failla. Failla, The 10 Napkin Presentations. You could probably find a used copy. His book changed names a few times. It's still out there. He's still out training. But I picked up this book at a garage sale for $0.25. And that 25 cents had more value to me than my entire college education, which cost me $60,000. Which I paid for. My parents didn't pay for. I worked my way through college, and I didn't take out any loans. I paid for all my college, but that 25-cent book taught me the concept of leverage, and it taught me the concept of time freedom, and it introduced me to the idea of network marketing, which I'd never heard of before. And so I moved right out of college, I moved from Chicago to the suburbs of Chicago to Phoenix, Arizona, with a guitar, a suitcase, and $250. The $250 was money that was given to me for my birthday. And I started answering classified ads for different opportunities, but I was working jobs along the way. Turns out over the next 17 years, I was in corporate America for 17 years, all the while trying to get a network marketing business going. I knew that the only path to my dreams, because I didn't have money to invest, the only path to my dreams was network marketing, because it was an easy entry. It was something I could do on my part-time, and it gave me leverage. In a network marketer, if you can put in 5 hours a week and you can find one other person to put in 5 hours a week, you're now benefiting from 10 hours worth of work a week, but you're only putting in 5. And if you get somebody else that can put in 5 hours a week, and maybe they find somebody who can put in 5 hours a week, now you're benefiting from 20 hours worth of work a week, but you're only putting in 5. Now imagine as your team grows and you've got, say, 100 people that are putting in 5 hours a week, that's 500 hours worth of work a week, and you're only putting in 5. that was a concept that got me really excited about my future. All of a sudden, I saw there was no limits on my dreams. My dreams were small when I got involved in network marketing. They were tiny. Like, I wanted a suit. I didn't own a suit. I wanted a cell phone. I didn't have a cell phone. And back then, cell phones were thousands of dollars. And I wanted to have a car that wasn't breaking down all the time. When I joined my 12th network marketing company, which was the first company I made money in, I had a beat up, broken down Jeep that had not run for 2 years. It was sitting in the street. I did not have a running vehicle when I joined my 12th company, and I made $8 million in that 12th company. Wow. And that company went away, and I joined another company 16 years ago, and I've made $16 million with the company I'm with now. And that was coming from a place where I had never had a car that would run for more than a few months before breaking down. And usually I couldn't afford to fix it, so it would sit in the street or in the driveway for sometimes months before I could save up enough money to fix the car. There were many times where I didn't have a running vehicle over the course of my first 34 years. At 34 years old, I was $36,000 in debt on 22 credit cards. I was living in an enclosed garage at 505 West 16th Street. You can still see it. If you're in Tempe, Arizona, 505 West 16th Street. I was living in the garage, the enclosed garage. I had a broken down Jeep in the street that had been out there for 2 years, I think, 2 years without a car, something like that. And 34 years old, and I'd never signed up a single distributor.
Unbelievable.
And then I joined my 12th company. Everything changed.
Your test has been such a testimonial. God is good. And you know, what's interesting is you said you went how long before you recruited your first person?
I recruited my first person on my 11th year on my 12th company. Yeah.
There's hope for people. What I love about this? Yeah, go ahead.
I've signed up since then. I've signed up 650 people, something like that total, in my network marketing career personally. And, in my current company, I've got 250,000 distributors and almost 1 million customers. Mm. And that was coming from a place of someone that was in his 30s that had never signed up a single person.
Wow. That's just amazing how things can change for somebody really quickly. Reading the right book, talking to the right person, just like that, it can change your life. And now look at you. Who would have thought, right? That when you look at that, do you ever think you'd be in this position?
People, no. People ask me, like, why didn't you quit? And the truth is, I quit over and over and over and over again, and that's the reason why I was having trouble. Or they'll say something like, well, what was it about the 12th company that the other companies didn't have? And it's like, it didn't have to do with the company. It didn't have to do with the comp plan. It didn't have to do with my upline. It didn't have to do with the products. It had everything to do with how I was viewing it, what I was focusing on, and what commitments I was willing to make, to break through the challenges of my past. We all have challenges. We all have things that stop us, and it's a lot of it is about learning to let go of the past and really embrace the future, but focus on things that will move you forward versus hold you back. If you can imagine I have a place in the mountains in Arizona, and I've got these big picture windows, and it's right on the side of a mountain, and I get hummingbirds, lots of hummingbirds out there in the summer. Yeah. And one day I was getting ready to take a trip, and I was going to be gone for a couple of weeks, and the door was open on the 3rd level, and a hummingbird flew into my living room. And the hummingbird flew straight over to the big picture window, and it was flying against the picture window real fast, because hummingbirds are fast. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever tried to catch a hummingbird, but you can't catch a hummingbird, even if they're inside your house. So that hummingbird's trying to get out through the window, and the door is wide open 10 feet away, but it wants to go towards the glass. And I couldn't get for an hour. I was leaving. I didn't want to leave because I knew that hummingbird would end up dead on my windowsill. So I was trying to wave him towards the door, but he did not want to look towards the door. He wanted to look towards the window. And his struggle would ultimately lead to his death. And I went into the kitchen, and I got this big pitcher, and I was trying to catch him with the pitcher, and I couldn't catch him. And he finally got tired and just sat down on the windowsill. And then I was able to get him up on the rim of the pitcher, but he couldn't fly anymore because he was getting too tired. And he was frustrated, and so was I. And I was in a rush. and he flew off the picture out into nature. And I thought to myself, that little hummingbird does not need a better flying coach. It doesn't need to learn how to fly. It's not about how to, it's about what the hummingbirds focus on. One direction represents struggle and ultimate death, and the other direction is effortless, and it leads to freedom. That's all the hummingbird would have to do is shift its focus, and it could effortlessly fly to freedom. And so a lot of what I teach is teaching people to focus on the things that are effortless, that will lead them to freedom, not the things that are causing them struggle. Usually the things that are causing you struggle it has to do with you holding on to things in the past that are keeping you down. And through this podcast that Troy does and the books that are out there, the top money earners and the top leaders in the network marketing profession, they're telling you in very obvious ways what to focus on. But we keep going back to the news and all the negativity and all of our problems that we want to just like drag people through of the past of why we can't do it. We're too old, or, we're overweight, or we're not very motivated, or we're procrastinators. And we spend all our time focusing on that, which is just you holding on, gripping your past so tightly that you can't be free. As long as you're gripping the challenges of your past, you'll never be free.
Yeah.
You got to let go of that if you want to soar.
Right. Well, I got to go. No, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
So one of the most difficult things I've ever learned to do in my life was to get my helicopter pilot's license at the age of 57 years old. When I went in there, they told me that guys in their 50s don't get their helicopter pilot's license. Only guys in their 20s and early 30s, but guys in their 50s don't. And I said, well, I want to, I sit here in my condo and I look at these helicopters giving tours, and I think to myself, wouldn't it be fun that when my friends come to Vegas, I could ask them if they want to ride in the helicopter, and we'll go and we'll fly around and go out to the mountains, maybe land in, there's a little restaurant over in Pahrump, we'll land there. I do that all the time now with friends. I've taken 150 friends over the mountains to get lunch over at the winery. I don't drink when I'm at the winery, but because I'm flying. But
good ad tip there. Good ad. Go ahead.
Anyway, it was the hardest thing. Learning to fly a helicopter was the hardest thing I've ever learned to do in my life, and I had no idea when I went in there how difficult it was going to be, and I had no idea what I was committing to. But I had announced to the world that I was going to get my helicopter pilot's license, and every time I go in there were so many challenges, and I can remember getting so frustrated and thinking to myself, after 3 hours, like I'm talking probably 5 or 6 lessons just focusing on hovering the helicopter. I'm not even talking about navigation and flying all the maneuvers, the emergency procedures, radio communications, all those kinds of things. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about hovering the helicopter. One thing, one skill. Hours and hours and hours and multiple lessons. And every time I would do it, I would think to myself, this is impossible. I can't do this. Like I remember saying to myself hundreds of times, I can't do this. Just like if you're in network marketing and you're struggling, it's like you wonder, you question, but the dream is on the other side. Your dream is on the other side of you continuing to put in whatever effort you need to put in to get past those challenges. The only way you learn the lessons is by continuing to do it. There's certain things that you cannot learn unless you do. You're not going to learn it on reading a book or going to a training or listening to a podcast. You have to do it to learn it. And that's how it is in the helicopter. I could take 100 hours of ground school and I'm never going to be able to fly a helicopter. The only way I'm ever going to learn is to get in the helicopter and have somebody sit next to me that can make sure that I don't kill myself.
It's so many people are beaten down, Jordan. So many people in their life, that's all they know. And what we realize is you're just one right move, one right decision that you can do it. And you went out, something that intimidated you. You went out just like they're intimidated, but you went, 10 plus years without recruiting one person. And then all of a sudden you had success. all of a sudden you had that same success. And you're probably using those principles in everything you do in life. Driving a helicopter, doing a plane. So
and once you get the basic, once you get wired into the basic system of learning and achieving your dreams, you can just repeat that over and over and over again in anything you want to do. Right.
It's so interesting that hummingbird story is a great story. I like to steal that story. Can I make that mine? I love that hummingbird story.
Yeah.
I'm so into this story. Like, this is like, you're as good as my grandfather was telling stories, except for he doesn't have cool shades like that. He never had shades that fresh. Never in my life. I love those shades. I love those shades.
Thank you.
Do I get to wear them on the plane ride, with the $2,900? Is that extra?
Yeah.
It is? Okay,
it's included. The sunglasses.
Okay, so whoever comes with me, we gotta read those. We gotta have those. Still, shades are fresh. My grandfather never told good stories like you did, but never had those. But you're right. When you look at the hummingbird, we're all looking at the same thing. We're all sometimes looking, and it's the door is right there. The door is right there, but we try to reinvent things, and we're not staying plugged in a system, and we quit. It's easy to quit and get in line and get back in line. You get out of line again and you get back in line. And that's what you did. You quit so many times. And it really wasn't the company. You decided, it was you. So I don't want to keep you too much longer. But so if you're looking at this business, how do you approach people? Because so many people are going through the same things that we've gone through.
I have two things to share on that. The first one is a story I'm going to tell you, of course, because that's what I do, because I'm like your grandpa. Am I like your grandpa, really? Am I really like your grandpa?
My grandpa's the best guy. He's passed away, but he told great stories, man. I want to hear more stories from you.
All right. So first thing I want to say that's related to your question, but a little bit unrelated to your question. But I really want everyone to get that the business that we're involved in is extremely simple. And there's really only three things that you need to master. You need to use your product every day. Most of you are doing that already. You need to use your product every day. That's the first thing. Whatever the product is, you want to use it as if you were the biggest raving fan of your product ever. So you want to use it every day, whatever it is. Some of you have products where you automatically use it because maybe you're like in some type of a utilities business or something. Some of you have products where you've got to consciously use it and let other people see you using the product and talk about using the product. That's the first thing. The second thing you really need to do is you need to share the business with other people, and you need to do that consistently over the long haul. So it's not something where you can try it. If you want to be successful, you have to give yourself a minimum of 2 to 3 years of sharing the business. Now today, there are so many tools for sharing the business. You've got videos, you can do it on Zoom, you've got other people in your company that have made videos, but you want to expose new people every day to your business. And to the extent that you expose new people, that will determine how much success you have. Exposing new people to the business, and then of course, following up with those people when they don't sign up right away. So that's the second thing. The third thing you do is you teach other people to do the same thing. That's it. That's all we do. Use the product, share your opportunity, and teach other people to do the same thing. Master those three things and do them every day. So when I look at my numbers, I'm going to tell you my numbers for the past 16 years. I've done 4,500 presentations in the past 16 years, which is about one a day. One presentation a day for the past 16 years on average. Some days I'll do 3 and some days I won't do any, but I focus on one a day. I'll do that every day. 4,500 presentations. Out of those 4,500 presentations, I personally signed up 550 people. So if you figure that out, that's 1 out of 9. So I got 4,000 no's and 550 yeses. 4,000 no's and 550 yeses. So when somebody comes to me and they've gotten 3 no's and they're really discouraged, I don't feel sorry for them. They haven't done it enough. You just got to keep doing that and then following up with the people that are interested. So 1 out of 9 people say yes to me. I get 8 no's for every 1 yes. All right. Now to answer your question, Troy, I had this little TV that was in a box, like the old kind, 35 years ago. And it was up at my place in Jerome, Arizona. And I heard a speaker say that if you're watching TV right now, if you're watching TV at all, that's the reason why you're not successful in the business. And I was trying to become successful. So he said, throw away your TV or give away your TV. Well, I took my TV, unplugged it. True story. Put it in my closet. It was in my closet for a couple of years. And what happens is when you don't have a TV to watch, you're like, all of a sudden you have all this time. So I started reading more. I started building my business more. And for the next 25 years, I ultimately made millions of dollars over the next 25 years because I wasn't watching TV every day. Well, years later, I bought this condo that I'm in right now on the Vegas Strip. And I wanted to have a flat screen TV that I could watch movies, right? So this is 25 years later. I go down to the Best Buy. Have you heard the story, Troy?
No, I haven't. So
I go down to the Best Buy and I walk in and I tell the guy, like, I'm not a TV watcher. I just want a simple flat screen, maybe 52 inches, 62 inches that I can put on my wall to watch movies. I don't need all the fancy bells and whistles. I just want something for about $750. So what he does is he waves me. He goes like this. He goes, come here. I want to show you something. And when somebody does this and they go, come here, I want to show you something, and they turn their back on you, you follow them. That's just what you do. So I followed the guy into this nice little room that had a couple of leather couches, and there was a big flat screen TV on the wall. And he handed me these glasses, and they're 3D glasses. And I put on the glasses, and I sit down on the leather couch, and Shrek is playing on the TV at Shrek 3D. And the donkey comes out of the TV, and literally he's like right by my face. And like, I'd never seen it, like not even in the movie theaters, I'd never seen anything this spectacular. And I said to him, how much? And he said, $6,500. And I said, I'll take it. Now, this was literally 10 minutes from the time I walked into the store to the time I said, I'll take it. And that's all he did was, come here, I want to show you something. And he sat me in a leather chair and he had me put the glasses on and I watched it. And I said, I'll take it. Now, he probably does that same thing 20 times a week. And he probably sells 2 or 3 or 4 of those every single week because he says, come here, I want to show you something. That's how you get somebody to take a look at your business. That's all you need to do. Have a little bit of a relationship with them and say, you know what? I would like to show you something that I think is really cool. You might like it, you might not, but I'd love to show it to you. That's it. Come here, I want to show you something. And that's what I do to this day. It's as simple as that. I don't do any like fancy, like I'll ask people questions because I'm interested in them, but not because I'm trying to manipulate them into my business. I'll ask people questions to get to know them. But at some point, if I think I would like to work with them, I'm going to say, you know what? I'd like to show you something that I think you're really going to like. When can we set up a time to do that? We can just jump on a Zoom. You may not like it. It might not be for you. That's okay. But you might love it. So when can I show you this?
That is yummy. That's worth the price of watching it all alone. Are you kidding me? Another story. You're the definition of facts tell, stories sell, Jordan.
Right on. Thank you. Thanks, Troy.
That's a great one. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. I really appreciate you jumping on this podcast, and you can find more on Time with Troy, where we've interviewed all kinds of people. What last closing remarks can you give us, Jordan? Any closing remarks?
Yeah, I'll just tell you that the number one reason people don't make it is because they stop working and they quit. They usually get discouraged, they stop working, and then they get discouraged some more, and then they quit. And so I adopted a saying that I use. It's an affirmation: don't quit on a bad day. Everybody quits on a bad day. So when you're having a bad day, don't quit. Say, you know what, I'm just taking a break right now. And if you're having a bad week, don't quit on a bad week. And if you're having a bad month, don't quit on a bad month. Stay in action. Do something that'll advance your business. And I promise you, things are going to turn around as long as you don't quit. So that's what I would leave people with.
Well, his name is Jordan Adler. You can find Beach Money, Better Than Beach Money. They're both great books. And of course, I encourage everybody, if you want to learn these tips and even more, because this is just a small sampling of what Jordan has to offer, is go to Momentum Makers. You can find that on Instagram and Facebook, Momentum Makers. And, he's got some great people and great tips there that you can learn from. So God bless, Jordan. Thank you so much for coming on.
You. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Really a pleasure.
I'll see you on the plane. Bye-bye.
Sounds good.